He wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't supposed to be the one. Yet he quietly redefined what leadership means. From a small town in Alabama to the helm of the world's most valuable company, Tim Cook's story is not about rebellion. It's about quiet revolution. This is the journey of the man who chose purpose over praise and built a legacy that speaks louder than words. Roots in humility, childhood, and early aspirations. Timothy Donald Cook was born on November 1, 1960, in the small town of Robertsdale, Alabama. The town itself was unassuming, nestled in a modest slice of Southern America, where family values and hard work were carved into everyday life. His father, Donald Cook, served in the shipbuilding industry, while his mother, Geraldine, worked at a local pharmacy. These were not the kinds of professions that drew headlines, but they instilled in young Tim the virtues of discipline, simplicity, and perseverance. Cook showed early signs of academic excellence, graduating as salutatorian from Robertsdale High School. Even then, his personality was markedly different from others, quiet, reflective, and relentlessly curious. He enrolled at Auburn University, majoring in industrial engineering, where he gained a reputation for precision and structure, skills that would one day define his operational genius. Later, he earned an MBA from Duke University's Fuqua School of Business, graduating among the top 10% as a Fuqua scholar. What's striking about Tim's early journey is that he didn't stand out through charisma or flamboyant ambition, but rather through consistency, thoughtfulness, and measured growth. There were no headlines, yet the foundation was solid. Climbing the corporate ladder, a decade before Apple, Cook began his career at IBM, where he stayed for 12 years and rose to become Director of North American Fulfillment. His specialty wasn't in product innovation or marketing flash, it was operational efficiency, logistics, and supply chain excellence. He was the kind of person who understood how systems worked and how to make them better. Following IBM, Cook moved on to Intelligent Electronics and then Compaq, where he briefly served as Vice President of Corporate Materials. Many saw this as a prestigious role at a leading tech firm. But in a move that defied conventional wisdom, Cook left Compaq after just 6 months to join a faltering Apple, a decision most would have considered risky, if not irrational. Later, when asked why he made such a leap, Cook explained that even though logic said stay at Compaq, intuition told him Apple was the right move. This revealed a critical insight into Cook's character. While his methods were measured, his beliefs were deeply intuitive. A gamble that changed everything, Apple in crisis. In 1998, Apple was bleeding money and market relevance. The company was struggling in a marketplace dominated by Microsoft, Dell, and HP. This was the environment Tim Cook stepped into as Senior Vice President of Worldwide Operations. What followed was a masterclass in operational turnaround. Cook immediately began cutting down inventory, closing inefficient factories, and partnering with external manufacturers. He transformed Apple's supply chain into a lean, agile system, one that minimized waste and maximized speed. Within a single year, Apple began posting profits. Cook's contributions were so transformational that he quickly rose through the ranks, becoming Chief Operating Officer. Unlike the engineers who obsessed over product design or marketers who focused on brand image, Cook understood that great ideas fail without great systems. Becoming CEO, the man after Jobs. After Steve Jobs resigned due to health issues, Tim Cook was named CEO of Apple in 2011. The world immediately began asking whether Cook could ever live up to Jobs' visionary legacy. But Cook never tried to be Steve Jobs. Where Jobs was fiery and intense, Cook was calm, composed, and collaborative. Instead of creative disruption, he brought organizational transformation. Under his leadership, Apple's revenue more than doubled. Market valuations soared from $348 billion to over $1.9 trillion by 2020. New product lines were introduced: the Apple Watch, AirPods, and iPhone X. Services like Apple Music, Apple Pay, and iCloud became massive growth areas. Perhaps most importantly, Cook humanized the Apple brand. He focused not just on innovation, but on values. Legacy of purpose, beyond profit and technology. In 2014, Tim Cook became the first Fortune 500 CEO to publicly come out as gay. It was more than a personal revelation. It was a bold message about inclusion and authenticity. He said if hearing that the CEO of Apple is gay can help someone struggling with their identity, then it's worth it. Cook's legacy includes environmental responsibility, pushing Apple towards 100% renewable energy use and a carbon-neutral supply chain. Privacy advocacy, standing up to governmental pressure to unlock customer iPhones, defending the principle of user privacy. Philanthropy, stating his intent to donate his entire fortune to charity, believing in redistribution and societal responsibility. Social activism, vocal support for racial justice, LGBTQ+ rights, and equal access to education and technology. Under his watch, Apple became not just a tech company, but a global force for ethical capitalism. Quiet genius, leadership in a new key. Tim Cook's journey reframes the leadership archetype. He wasn't the loudest voice or the wildest dreamer. He didn't invent the iPhone or design the Mac, but he knew how to scale dreams, nurture cultures, and guide organizations through storms. His greatest talent? Making complexity invisible. Under Cook, Apple became so efficient that its vast empire worked seamlessly. No drama, no chaos. And that is genius in its own right. Let your joy be in your journey, not in some distant goal. Tim Cook. Cook's legacy is not bound to any single invention, but to a quiet revolution in values-based leadership. He showed the world that you don't need to be loud to be strong, or rebellious to be revolutionary. Final reflection. The architect of Apple's soul. Tim Cook stepped out from behind the curtain of one of the most charismatic founders in history and didn't try to replicate him. Instead, he brought empathy, discipline, and purpose to one of the world's most powerful companies. In doing so, he taught us that being different doesn't mean being lesser. Leadership is not charisma, it's character. Transformation can happen quietly, if it's built on truth. His life is a blueprint for those who seek substance over spotlight, service over ego, and legacy over fame. He didn't chase the spotlight, but earned it with purpose. From the shadows of giants, Tim Cook built a legacy that speaks through action, not applause. His story reminds us, leadership isn't loud, it's lasting. And sometimes, the quietest voices leave the deepest echoes.